abatement. We've had quite a few meetings on this only because information flowing back. Oh, yeah, well, I'll get that out.
Minor details.
I'm leaving after the first.
The minor details. Oh, you want me to go in order this time? Since when are we going on? All right, adoption of minutes. I move we adopt the minutes from November 21st, 2022.
So moved.
Any, second?
Second.
All in favor, all opposed, we all passed it, good. All right, Board of Appeals, City Ordinance, Unified, Chapter 20, Annual Election. Who's up for election?
You two.
Everybody.
I vote that I remain.
Second.
All opposed? All opposed? All in
As you continue
favor?
to buy. Good.
All in favor? I say it's 4-0.
Okay, so it's.
That's me. And then
Steve, right.
Steve, who wants him to be what he is? I do too. All in favor? All opposed? Good, we elected those. Boom.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else up for re-election?
No, that's it.
Okay, good. All right. And I want to change my name.
To what?
I don't know.
Your Honor?
Oh, yeah, no. All right, here we're back on Walmart's appeal. And I'm expecting Steve will roll in here anytime, and I don't think he'd care if we started. I was here to have a final hearing. In preliminary discussions, I heard Bruce and our illustrious Larry indicate that we're not ready. Is that okay? Is that fair?
That's fair.
If I could, I'm going to ask, since he's at the podium, I'll let him go first and outline where he thinks we need to decide, and then you have equal time to tell us what we need to decide, and then we'll decide, and then we'll reschedule this for another night.
Thank you.
Fair is fair. All right, Larry, let us know.
Yes, Ed wrote a summary letter after the last hearing, going over what came out of the last hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce, but we're all set on the gross sales for Walmart. It's just for 1 year going back, or just Walmart here in Ellsworth going back 5 years. I wanted more than that, but the board has restricted it to just this Walmart for gross sales, and going back for 5 years.
Yes.
What
And where that stands, Board and Larry, is that Walmart is reviewing the confidentiality agreement. That's what they're looking at the wording on that right now.
Yep,
Does Larry have the information?
no, he's working on the confidentiality agreement first.
Oh, so that you can disclose it without it being disclosed
Yes.
further? Okay.
Right.
And then, can you guys figure out how, if it does come up in a meeting and we, obviously if it's confidential, we're not gonna discuss it in front of audiences. How do we get it?
We can have we can go into an executive session for that purpose and cite the statute that makes this information confidential.
So nobody else hears it, right? It's not, it's gonna be part of the record, but sealed.
Correct.
All right. So-
I will certainly would be happy to work with Bruce or anybody to make sure that they're comfortable with whatever process we come up with.
Bruce, are you okay working with our attorney, Ed?
Oh, yes,
And then you guys figure out the procedure we'll use at a hearing?
of course.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
And then the other part of what was discussed was, at the last hearing, was leases. And as you remember, I was wanting all the leases of all Walmarts that are leased, and there was a little over 600, I believe.
94.
And you, the board decided to limit that to a range of either the northeastern United States, New England, or Maine, and Bruce and I were to agree on the extent of that. I wanted the northeastern United States.
How many stores would that be, Larry?
I don't have a count on those.
So you want, what do you mean by northeast? Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island?
It would be based on the census, federal census bureaus.
What do you want to call Northeast?
Whatever the federal census calls it, and I believe it includes Pennsylvania,
New York?
New York.
That's a pretty big reach.
Ooh, that is. Bruce, what do you want us to call, how many states do you want to limit him to?
Chairman, we would object to the Northeast. New England is fine. New England does not include New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania.
That would just seem to open this up to a huge amount of stores. Larry, would you be comfortable with New England?
I wouldn't be comfortable with it, but whatever you decide.
What does the board think? I mean, if that's the only issue we gotta decide here tonight, how many states he gets to look at?
What's the count for New England, number of stores in New England?
Bruce, do you know how many stores in New England? It's gotta be
Least.
hundreds.
Least.
I don't know.
I wouldn't
Least.
say hundreds.
Isn't it least stores?
least.
only?
Least stores in New
only.
England.
Let me see if I can shed any more light on that. Let's see.
Because I would seriously question what a lease store in New Jersey with their high rents, in New York, Pennsylvania, I could, probably is more, except around Philadelphia. I mean, I can't imagine that those aren't big rental areas.
West Virginia.
As far as
And
leased
West Virginia.
stores, as far as leased stores in New England are concerned, I believe they have over 50
In New England.
in New England, over more than 50, 50.
Larry, isn't that enough? Say yes. Say yes. I'm gonna put this to a vote right now. I'm
gonna vote for just New England. I would
But
make that
hearing what I
motion.
just heard from Bruce, it says 50 leased stores, strikes me that that is a pretty good figure for Larry to work with. So I'm gonna make a motion that we define the lease area to include New England, which we're told is at least 50 lease stores, and that's where the dispute ends, and you get that information. All in favor?
I'll second that for the
Do I have
record.
do we have a vote? All in favor? All opposed? 4-0 to have New England, 50 lease stores. And then, how long, Bruce, how long is that gonna take you to get that information?
I guess probably the next couple of weeks.
Is this a February docket or a March? Or an
To
April?
be,
I'll be gone in March.
to be safer, Chairman, I would say March.
He's gonna be gone, if we can get a quorum, I'd prefer to have Steve here, though. He's heard all this stuff. If we went into April, listen, you're appeal, and if you know what I'm saying? You're going back on the numbers, we just gotta get this right. And obviously, if you wanna appeal the assessment for the next year, that's your right too. I'm gonna suggest that we put this in April.
That's fine.
I'm gonna ask you to work with Ed Vera, both of you, so that the presentation will be slick, smooth, and if we get a package, I'd prefer, if it's gonna be proprietary, that we get it in here. We come 15 minutes early, we review it, we get to see it off camera, and then we return those packets to Ed. And to the extent that we use those, Ed will keep those at his law office. And that way, and the city obviously gets a copy, but I'm talking our copies to work with.
Yes.
So can you guys, in April, come at 6:15, review the package, and
I might have to do a Zoom. I'm gonna have a knee replacement at the end of March, so it
if
depends
you
on.
need it, if you get it, but then return it.
You think
Okay.
15 minutes is gonna be enough?
They're gonna summarize this stuff, and gross
Okay.
sales, we'll look at, it's gonna be a number for each year. I mean, that's,
Yeah, we want a spreadsheet when we're all done, boys.
the less pages, the better. But whatever you want for exhibits, I don't care. But the more concise, the better.
Yep, you'll have a spreadsheet.
So what we've done tonight is limited leases to New England, and you're gonna work with Ed, and we're gonna come back in April. Fair enough? And
Yes.
obviously, Larry, in council, if you need more time, we can adjust the date, and you can always appear by Zoom. And-
Thank you.
And then if we add, for example, we're reviewing for 2020, right?
y- uh,
Yes.
yes,
And Sam, if we pass the time for assessment on 2021, of course, if we reduce it
that's under appeal.
2021, and then can we do by agreement, if we have time go by, that we can do them all at the same time?
I,
Would you,
probably, yeah.
is that okay with Walmart?
Yes,
I mean, obviously, this is taking longer than the typical, but there's a lot more, it's a bigger volume, and you've asked for a lot of information.
So if I understand then, Larry, or Bruce, an application for abatement of the 2021 taxes has been filed with the assessor. Have you acted on it yet?
How have we been working on the April 1st, 2021? I know Walgreens is under appeal, or in an abatement request right now. Did we get through the abatement request for 2021, Bruce?
for which matter?
For Walmart? For as of April 1st, 2021?
For which case, Larry?
Wal-
Walgreens?
Walmart.
Oh, Walmart, I know we had a conversation about it. I know I followed up our conversation a few weeks ago with a follow-up proposal to get the case settled. So if you would kindly respond to that, I would appreciate it. You might feel that you need the Walmart leases, which we're happy to provide, but we'd love to see if we can resolve these matters with you.
If you
Yeah.
can resolve them, do it, that's not a problem. But you represent both clients, right?
Yes.
For efficiency, I don't mind doing both on the same night for your schedule and agenda. If we have to stay late, save your client a little money, as long as we have all the numbers. If Walmart's really gonna take that long, but you just let us know what years that we're
Yeah.
doing. You're not losing anything by doing it this way.
Yes, we just received something the other day from Larry concerning Walgreens.
Yep.
Very lengthy, so we just got it a few days ago, his request for certain information. And again, I'm sure that some of the issues there may be similar to Walmart, but what we have that we consider to be appropriate to respond to, we will answer Larry's questions, yes.
Okay. Alrighty,
Uh,
Ed, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, Jeff. Do either of you plan on having any witnesses? I assume that, Larry, you would testify as to any opinions of value that you have. Bruce, do you have any intention of calling any witnesses? Would they be via
No.
Zoom?
For the purpose of the Walmart case, we had that appraised, as you all know, it's pending at the state board for value dates that go back to 2017 and 2018. So as I understand it, the years that are before the board are much more current than that. But Larry has our appraisal report, and he's aware of what Walmart's value position is. So to answer your question, I don't think we would be offering any appraisers to testify as to value, because we've already essentially done that. We submitted our appraisal report on the Walmart. Obviously, if it's not resolved at the town board, it would be ultimately decided at the main state board. As for Walgreens, we have not yet engaged a property appraiser for that. I suppose we will, assuming we can't resolve it. I did, before I got Larry's request for information about Walgreens, just I think in the past week, about 2 weeks or so ago, I sent him a settlement proposal for that matter as well. So, it would be helpful to me if Larry could respond to that. And again, he might feel that he needs information in order to respond to it, I don't know. But if he could get back to me and let me know whether or not he thinks we can settle it. Obviously, if we can't resolve it, we'll have to hire a property appraiser to appraise the property. So I don't know if I answered your question appropriately, Ed, but.
We'll decide them as they come in. If we can do two in one night, we will.
Okay,
And I can report to you that at the State Property Tax Review Board level, it's basically non-existent at this time. The volunteers, it's all a volunteer board. They're just not getting the volunteers for the State Property Tax Review Board. There's no staff. Even before COVID, they had part-time staff members, but it's just a mess there at the State Property Tax.
Yeah, we don't care. We're just gonna get them done here.
Yeah,
Whatever happens after here is your business, not mine. We decide, you live with it. If you don't like it, you appeal with them. And if they change it, you live with it. So, Way to go.
They don't exist right now.
they don't
That's right.
exist, maybe, who knows? All right, I'm gonna vote we adjourn. All in favor?
Yep.
Bruce, Larry, let us know when you guys are ready. If you need more time, let us know. No big deal.
thank you, Bruce.
great, thank you all.
Good to see you,
Good
Bruce.
night.
Take care.